Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. And by the video title, you know what this video is about. Steelers versus Bengals week 16 game preview. Mason Rudolph might be the starter. We got a lot of things to unpack. Is Kenny Pickett going to play or would it go with Mason? How the Steelers defense going to do? Look a little banged up. The linebackers all banged up. KZ been suspended for the rest of the season, which is BS. But we got a lot of things to unpack in this video today. Let's start off with the Mason Rudolph maybe being a starter. Mason Rudolph as a starter is 5-4-1. He has a 66 completion percentage as a starter. He threw 16 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Mr. Rudolph his numbers look pretty solid. Pretty solid. They don't look good. They don't look great. They don't look bad either. They look like solid in between a little bit, kind of like in limbo, like because Mason Rudolph also has an 80.8 passer rating, so that's not really like something to be going home like hey, happy about. But if you compare him to all the other Steelers QBs that have been playing, from Kenny Pickett, Mr. Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph, all you compare all three of these stats together, they kind of all on par with each other. Really, they all kind of on par. And one thing I like about Mason Rudolph though is more experience in the Steelers offense and the Steelers scheme of things because he's been here for quite some time. I think he's been here for like 5 or 6 years. I thought he was gonna leave the team after he became a free agent. I thought he was going to go somewhere else, but he signed back with the Steelers. I feel like he could have had more opportunity somewhere else because a lot of teams that need some quarterback play, I think Mason Rudolph would have probably been better than some of the quarterbacks that are starting. If I could go out there and maybe play a little better than those guys. But Mason Rudolph, his last win, when was his last win? Actually, I'm trying to think, Mason Rudolph's last win, I guess the Bengals game would count as his last win because he started the game, but he got benched for Doug Hodges, and Doug Hodges won it for him. So I guess that counts as his last win, technically on paper. But Mason Rudolph really, like the last 2 games he played, he won the last game. He threw 277 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception, and they lost to the Lions. Well, it was not a loss, but it's a tie. But the Lions that year, I don't think they won a game, so we tied with them. So it's basically a loss in my opinion. But it wasn't really his fault, really, because Pat Freiermuth had the fumble. Jesse Johnson had a fumble. He got us into field goal range multiple times. It's just the players fumbled the football and turned the ball over. It wasn't like his doing. But he did miss a lot of throws throughout that game and stuff. It was a rainy game, a cold game. So I'm going to say, think that game and the game before that against the Browns, he actually played very good football in that game. I think he threw for like 300 plus yards against the Browns. He played good football in that game. Came down to the last, basically the last wire came down to the end in that game. The Steelers should have started their starters to win that game so the Browns can be out the playoffs. So you got to see the divisional guy 3rd time. I know the Steelers are feeling confident, like, oh, we played the Browns before we beat them, the same old Browns, but I don't want to play anybody 3 times because they know everything you're going to do. You already played a division opponent twice, so playing them again is going to hurt you a little more. So Mr. Rudolph really, he won some games. When he first started off, he was a little on fire and stuff, and he beat the Dolphins. He beat the Bengals before, the game against the Colts and stuff. But Mason is kind of like, he's kind of a little like in between a little bit. He had moments where he show you some good stuff, like his deep ball and get pushing the ball downfield. And he also had moments where he looked like a deer in headlights as well. One thing I like about him, though, like I mentioned before, is the experience in the Steelers offense. He know how to run the Steelers offense. He's been here when Big Ben was here, when Big Ben didn't want to help him. And that's another thing too, another story for another long story too as well. I always mention it every time. The Steelers should have been drafted a successor after Big Ben. If we would have got Lamar Jackson, who was the last pick, who we passed on, we could have drafted Lamar Jackson. That 1 year Big Ben got hurt, and Lamar would have started with that defense. We probably got ourselves to the AFC Championship game, made a Super Bowl because Lamar was playing very good. But of course, he had some woes because he was still learning. He was a rookie, Lamar. But with that defense that he had and everything around us, I think it would have been good enough for us to push it. And then Jalen Hurts, we passed upon him. They had Coach Tomlin was raving about him. They were visiting him in Alabama and all type of things that was happening. And we passed upon him. I was hoping we drafted him. I was like, okay, he sit behind Big Ben for a little bit, and then you put him out there. And then he would fit perfectly in his offense, his leadership, his mentality. He played that hard-nosed style, that old-school style mentality of a football player as well. He would fit perfectly here. But the Steelers never went out there and drafted a successor after Big Ben. So now we stuck with all of these 3 guys right here, the 3 musketeers of mediocre. So we're going to see what happens. Maybe Kenny Pickett come back. One thing about Kenny Pickett you can say about him, before he went down, the Steelers was 7-4. He might not have no eye-popping stats, but the Steelers was 7-4 when Kenny Pickett was playing. And then ever since he went down, they're 0-2 now. So we're going to see exactly what's going to happen. But Mason Rudolph, I think he should be able to get the job done. Last time the Steelers played the Bengals, the Steelers put up 400 yards of offense. They went out there and rushed the ball pretty well, too. Najee Harris had 100 rushing yards. Jalen Warren had about like 40, 50 yards as well. So they was able to run the ball, and we seen last week what Nick Mullins did to the Bengals defense, and what the running back, what was his name? It was something Walker, I think. But he was going crazy against the Bengals defense and the Vikings. So the Bengals have allowed a lot of people to run the ball on them, run the ball down their throats a lot. So I think the Steelers should be able to run the football. If they make that like a emphasis, and like make that like something they want to do as a plan, strategic plan, run the football pretty well. And, use that to set up the passing game and stuff as well, play action passes. George Pickens, Deontay gives them the ball and stuff. Pat Freiermuth. I don't like our team structure. I like the Steelers. I'm a big Steelers fan. I love the Steelers fans, but I'm a big time Steelers fan for life. But I don't like our team structure. The receivers on our team, the whining, the complaining, and George Pickens he used to be good at block. He used to actually go out there and be willing to block. And most of the plays is about will, really. Like you come down to it and you look at the players on the field and they don't get the ball or something. They're not showing you will, because most people, you think they're like, okay, I ain't got the ball in my hands, but I'm gonna make something happen. I'm gonna go out there and hit somebody. I'm gonna go out there instead of block. I'm gonna do something to make an impact in this game. But they don't be thinking like that. They be thinking about it's all me. It's like Dancy Johnson. He was dancing in the end zone. He was down by 3 scores. I'm like, what are we dancing for? We down by 3 scores. I'm like, y'all care about personal gain, personal stats. You see, people always say, I do want to win, but yeah, you want to win, but you want to get your numbers, then win. You want to win when you have 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns and win. You want to win your way. You don't want to win, because you want to win, you'll be out there putting your body on the line every single time, every single down, going out there and using your force and your will to oppose another opponent's will and block. And get your guys extra yards. Hines Ward used to go out there. He'll lay his body on the line. He'll go out there and block. He'll do everything he can to make sure his running backs get extra yards. Jerome Bettis get extra yards out there. Parker get extra yards out there as well. But we see a lot of these receivers we got on our team now. They all just in themselves like that. It's so in tune with themselves and not in tune with the game. That's why I love like the Larry Fitzgeralds of the league. He played in Pittsburgh College. Larry Fitzgerald of the leagues. Steve Smiths. Some of the guys like that. Even Antonio Brown, say what you want about Antonio Brown off the field. But on the field, Antonio Brown was one of the hardest working receivers of all time. He'd bring it in practice. You seen him practicing. You seen him performing. There's never a day where we said Antonio Brown not in the game. His head not. Stop it. Antonio Brown, he brought 110% every single time he was on the field. And I think he went out there and performed at the highest level, drawing double teams, taking 2 people with them, really, because people have to respect it. They're like, okay, he's going to run a route out there. I got to follow that. And they helped the run game a lot, too. Antonio Brown was always in tune. He did some crazy stuff off the field, but one thing you can say about Antonio Brown, he never gave up when he plays. Never did. He might have threw some tantrums on the sideline. We threw a water cooler because he was wide open. Should have got the ball right there. But he never gave up on any plays. He always was getting open. He always was making a play and making something happen like that. And you can't blame him for that either, like that what you do on the field and stuff. But off the field was some crazy stuff. But on the field, he was one of the hardest workers. I just feel like our team just lost his will, lost his way. I just feel like we gotta find a way to just get that spark, because we controlled our own destiny at first. We controlled our own destiny. We owned our whole company. Now we're a minority owner in our company. We had the majority stake. We made all decisions. We lost 3 straight. Now we are kind of like a minority owner. We got hope for someone else to make the decisions that we want so we can get in the playoffs now. We controlled our narrative at first, but now we lost all that control. So we're going to see what happens to the Steelers this week. I think they should be able to go out there and beat the Bengals and go 8-7. They'll drop the Bengals down to 8-7 and move the Steelers up a little bit. And because our division record is still pretty good. We lost one to the Browns only. Yeah, we beat the Ravens, we beat the Bengals, we beat the Browns once, and we lost one to the Browns. If we beat the Bengals again, that'll put us at 4-1 in our division, and hopefully we can finish off finish off the Ravens in the last game of the season. That's going to be a tough one, though, because the Ravens are going to most likely be playing their starters. They're going to be playing everybody because they're trying to get that first seed solidified. So we're going to see what happens throughout the weeks. But the Steelers can go out there and try to win this game right here and get themselves back on track. You need some other things to happen, too. You need the Texans and other teams like Colts and stuff. Maybe some other teams to lose since they beat us like they already. The Jaguars beat us. The whole AFC South, except the Titans, beat us. Like the whole AFC South, but the Titans beat us. So, and then we got to play the Seahawks, which is a tough one, too, and then the Ravens. So all these games are tough games. So it's not like no games where, like, you're going to be underdog probably every one of these games. So I just Steelers go out there and implement the run. Attack the Bengals secondary. Bengals secondary is not like it used to be. You know, Von Bell is gone, Jesse Bates is gone, and the Bengals secondary is exploitable. You can attack the secondary down the field. We've seen the Steelers do it before. They didn't capitalize on a lot of plays. We see Deshaun Johnson drop the touchdown pass in that game. Jalen Warren fumbled in that game too as well. Pat Freiermuth got missed on one of the throws when Ken threw it behind his back on in that game too. So they could have had probably 27 plus points in that game. They capitalized on the red zone at least the majority of the time. So hopefully this game to go out there because it's do or die now. It's do or die. There's no if you lose this game right here, of course you still have a chance to get a winning record, but no one want to be 9-8 for another consecutive year. That means your team did not improve or not get better. Like we came in this season, I think our team, I had us 11-6. Really, I said we probably lose a few games that we probably should have win because that's the Steelers' way. It seems like they always lose some games they should win. But we can go 11-6 and get in the playoffs. I don't know if we'll win the division. I thought we can get in the playoffs and have maybe a 5th seed and maybe make some noise, maybe win one playoff game at least. But now I hope we can go out there and win these 3 straight. We have to win these 3 straight. You can't lose one more. You lose one more, you're gonna need a lot of things to occur, miracle things to occur, so you can get in the playoffs. And especially when you lost all these tying games, like the one to the Texans, the one to the Colts, and the one to the Jaguars as well. So we're gonna see what the Steelers can do. Hopefully they can go out there and beat the Bengals. And then we'll see what happens with the Seahawks thing and then the Ravens thing. But we got to make something happen. That's all I got for the video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you guys most likely. I'm going to be live streaming the game this time for sure. I'll see you guys on Saturday and doing a live stream. And then right after the live stream, we're going to do a reaction and stuff. So we're going to see if it's a positive one or it's a negative one. But I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace out.